Hello there, it's Velo here. Welcome to another video. Today we are building for a collab and we are using both the new terrain tools as well as the new expansion pack, Get Famous. But yeah, this house is built for a collab. It's a save file collab and it is organized by JinxJupiter. It's a very big collab, so basically for every lot in the game there is one simmer who will be building a house on the law and creating a family for the law, or then like I did, you could also like find someone else like kind of swap so that I would make a family for someone else's house and build the house for someone else's family, if that makes sense. So we did that with Mxllow. I'm not sure how to pronounce that, but Melanie, and she created a family that I'm now building a house for, and I did the same. So I also created a family for the save file. It's already been a while, so there was no video on that, but if you want to get the save file when it's done, it should be done like early next year because it's so big. Like there's like 150 simmers or something currently, so it takes a while to complete. But I think it should be done in January or February next year, so you can find this build and my family in the save file then. So yeah, I will link both Jinx and Melanie down below. They both have amazing simming YouTube channels. You should check out their content. And yeah, for this house I had some inspiration from a real life house that I saw yesterday. I also built this yesterday, so when I was walking home I saw this house it was a wooden house that was pink, and then the front door was this blue color, and I started with that idea and also replicated the shape of the entrance or the porch kinda, where those two staircases go down at the front. So the facade takes some inspiration from a real life house, but I do end up changing the door to a white. I just thought that the in-game blue didn't look as nice as it did in real life, and then also I couldn't see the back of the house, or I couldn't take really pictures, so everything else I just kinda winged. So I only got some inspiration for the front and for the color scheme and the style, but then like the floor plan is not based on anything and the back of the house isn't either. So yeah, for this house I actually end up liking the back of the house more than the front. Like the front is okay, but I just feel like from the back the house looks both bigger, like more spacious, and also something in it looks better all together. And there's also quite a big yard, and I do this terrain editing so that from the backyard the terrain is lifted up a tiny bit, so that there's like this hilly backyard, but it's not steep, so your sims should be able to walk there on to everywhere on this law without any problems. So yeah, here I am doing that, and I decided to include the terrain manipulation in this video as it is still such a new feature. Like it's kinda, I think it will be falling under the same category as terrain painting, like later on that most people cut it out, but like for now I totally understand that I want to watch the terrain manipulation and I want to see how other people do it and stuff like that. I don't know, maybe it will always stick around as an interesting thing to watch. But I also did do terrain painting, but I think that I have lost all the things that I did regarding that, because like I said, I did this yesterday, so before the patch update that came with the bug fixes and all that kind of stuff. And I swear that I put this on the gallery, but it wasn't there today that I checked, and the game had not saved like the terrain paint. Everything else was there, so when I went back into my game the lot was there, but it didn't have any terrain paint on it, neither in live mode or in build mode. So Yeah, and I couldn't find it on the gallery. So yeah, that's a bit unfortunate. I will have to redo that before I send this to the save file, but I just wanted to have this speed build out before that because right now I don't have the motivation to do the terrain painting all over again. Like I knew that there was a bug, but I still kind of wanted to give it some thought, and I spent quite a long time like doing it, so it does bug me a little bit that I think I lost all the progress in that. But otherwise, you know, here's the house and it will be on the gallery once I fix it. There is a version on the gallery without the terrain paint, but seriously it doesn't look too good, so I would definitely suggest that if you want to use this house and also see the other buildings and families and play with them that are in the Jupiter save file, you should totally wait until like January and follow. I will definitely tweet about it, so if you will follow me on Twitter, you will know when the save file is complete. And I'm unsure if there are still like spots available, but if there are, definitely ask JinxJupiter if you want to join. There's like I said, there's many of us, but there was also the new world, so there might be some lots available in Del Sol Valley. I am not too sure about that. And the backstory for Melanie's family, I think, was that they are teenage parents with a toddler. If I'm not mistaken, I'm sorry if I have, but I remembered her saying that, and my idea for this build was that maybe the teenage couple inherited this house from like their grandparents or their parents or something, because otherwise I just couldn't see how they could afford to live on this lot. Like, it would be a very weird place for a family like that to live on. I don't know what kind of personalities they are, but I imagine that maybe this was a house that their grandparents used to live in. So then also some of the furnishing makes more sense. So like the kitchen is a little outdated, well, not outdated, but a little bit more old looking, and definitely not too modern. It's more like this 70s or 80s kind of kitchen, and the whole house, it's not a modern house as you can tell. But then again, like in the living room and stuff like that, I do put in some more modern and some new furniture as well. So how I imagined this was that they inherited the house or they moved in it, and it had all the stuff that was there before, and slowly as they gather money and like possessions, they have updated some of the things and stuff like that. Because yeah, like I said, it just didn't make sense to me that a teenage couple could afford like a big house on a beach lot. It just didn't seem too realistic. But again, like, it's not my family, so I'm not too sure about that. But for this build, that's what I had in mind. I'm sure that Melanie has a whole backstory for them thought out. And yeah, here in the entrance area I did this little closet. It's not accessible or usable per se, but it's a nice looking closet. So just that one tile thingy there, and then I do some seating and some storage and stuff like that, all your basic things. And also I think like maybe the house used to be more like there used to be more color on the inside, so maybe this couple has painted the floors and some of the walls white and stuff like that. Because definitely I imagine that when this house was built, it was like already like 60 years ago or something like that. So it's not a new house, but it has been renovated and it's very nice looking. Definitely I think that there might have been like these tacky wallpapers all over, like if this was their grandparents' house and the interior design was done like in the 70s. Definitely did not look like that before, but I thought that this was a very nice mix of like traditional and older stuff and vintage stuff, but it's still like not drab, and then newer stuff as well. And here I do use this new Get Famous couch, and then pretty much I just use all of the packs that I have, and again I was just very glad how well everything went together. So in this living room alone, I think I use like City Living, Cats and Dogs, I use Seasons and Laundry Day, and even Jungle Adventure. Yeah, I think I used the coffee table from Jungle Adventure. So definitely like I'm real happy about the state that we're in with the expansions, that most things really go well together. And here I did this thing with this new side table. I love the side table, and when I first saw it, it reminded me of this, I'm not sure what it's actually called, but this like 70s furniture piece that's kind of a phone stand. So, you know, when people used to have like landlines and like actual phones, there would often be like this dedicated table and seat for them. And I've seen in like secondhand stores those pieces of furniture that are partly table and partly seating or a tiny little couch. And I thought that that was one of the furniture pieces that was in this home originally, and I thought that it was very cute, and I've tried to create that before. I love vintage thingies, so I've tried that before, but now with this coffee table it actually worked and it looked nice. I had to size down the coffee table, so I decided not to place anything on it. But yeah, I thought that it looked very nice, and I'm definitely happy about how this house turned out. Especially I like the exterior, and I do like the living room area and stuff like that, but when I get to the upstairs, I was definitely already a bit tired with the furnishing. Like, it's not a big build, but I wanted everything to be exactly where I want it. Does that make sense? And I also wanted it to be quite cluttered, so like an old house and a family living there, it's only realistic that the house is quite cluttered, so in many cases I just add the shelves everywhere and put stuff on them. I thought that it was a nice touch. For example, in this bathroom here, I decided to do this dark wood wall with some shelves on it, and some stuff on the shelves because there wasn't space for actual storage in the bathroom other than the sink cabinet. So I put some things up here, and if you're wondering why they have a clock, like this fancy antique clock in the toilet, I don't know if that's weird, but my parents have this kind of a clock in their bathroom basically, and it's just decorative. There's like no function for it, it's just a clock that was left over, wasn't needed anywhere else, so it was a decorative piece to put on a shelf above the mirror in a toilet. So yeah, I hope that's not like super weird. In this dining room here, I really wanted to use that Cats and Dogs dining table, but I couldn't fit it in, and if I did it earlier, it would have been easy to expand the house like one tile further back, but I was already so far in with the furnishing, I decided not to and use this smaller table instead. Here I also wanted something on this like window here, but it didn't work out too well. I do put a little plant in there, but it still crops a bit, so yeah, I don't know. That's also a thing that I think is very common in older houses, especially like at least where I live, because in Finland, because of the cold climate, we have like double glass windows everywhere, so there's often like at least a few centimeters of space there. So often on like in the windows, like literally inside the windows, people would have plants or jars or something decorative like that. But yeah, so all over I'm just like including little pieces that I thought are more vintagey and definitely not added like in the past few years. They've been there for a longer time. But then like some of the things, like of course especially this upstairs where the bedrooms are. Like this toddler's room has been completely painted and renovated, and the furniture is new. They've had to get that when they got a baby. And yeah, I decided to leave the parents' room like kind of open to the hallway, so it doesn't have a door. It only has this like archway kind of a thingy. I don't know, I thought that it just made the small space a little bit bigger maybe, and if you want to you can definitely fit in a door. But yeah, this is the child's room, and it's quite basic, but it still has quite a few toys and everything you would need for your toddler. And in the bathroom upstairs there will also be a bathtub, and I used some of those new Get Famous like superhero things. I thought that they were super cute, and the color scheme and all that stuff could be also like from a children's TV show, not just a superhero movie. So that's what I thought there. It's like a maybe like an animated kid series with this superhero alpaca rainbow heroine. I thought it was adorable. And yeah, this kind of a house is definitely what's my comfort zone in building, so I really like this. And it was small enough that I didn't actually get like too tired of furnishing it either. And surprisingly, I also really enjoyed the landscaping. I don't include all of that, but I do include some. Again, I feel like the terrain tools made it make so much more sense, and especially like combining all the elements that I do on the yard, it just makes it so much more realistic than to just have a flat piece of land. So yeah, I do like the garden too. And for the screenshots, unfortunately my game was in late fall and I couldn't be bothered to change it. I've been playing in my build file because of the bugs with the latest update that are now fortunately fixed, but I was still playing in it, so I don't want to like change the season before I've transferred every family to my actual play file or something like that. So yeah, it's a bit unfortunate. It doesn't look the best, but this lot is quite a good spot. So even with the game being in fall, the sunrise was really pretty, and like it's a very pretty lot. We got to pick like what lot we build on in the collab. So when I saw that this one of my favorite lots was available, I of course went with it. So yeah, we are on this lot again. Is it just me, or do other people also have like favorite lots to build on? Like surely I guess there's some preferences, but do you like have one special lot that it's like your absolute favorite? Because I do, and it's this one pretty much. Yeah. I also do like some of the new lots in Del Sol Valley, but that might be just the fact that it's new. I definitely think this is one of my favorite lots. Here I did this cute little thing with these color-coded towels for all of the family members. I thought that that was a cute touch, and the one for the toddler was like lower so that they could dry their hands themselves. And yeah, I also play tested this. I did have to change like a couple of things, but for example the bathrooms do completely work, and the master bedroom works, or the master bed works from one side. So if you actually want to play in this house with more than 2 sims, I would recommend to delete some stuff from the master bedroom or something like that. I just wanted it to be cluttered as well, and I had made the room a tiny bit too small. Again, that's one of my like usual mistakes, but yeah, it works from one side, and it should work from both sides, you know, like the sims should be able to scoot over to the bed. And I don't know about you guys, but like it's never worked and no matter what I do, it doesn't work in the game. Sometimes, very rarely, it just randomly works, and then I try to do it again in the same save file, same lot, and it doesn't work. Well, yeah, here's the little porch thingy, or this backyard space, and I thought it was very cute. I do put this little porch here with the dining table, barbecue, and a toddler pool. And I did put laundry in the kitchen, so there's also the clothes line, and but there's also a dryer inside, so you could use either, or you could just remove the washing machine and the dryer completely. I know some people don't like playing with laundry, but I included that, and I always talk like assuming that people will actually play in my houses, so hopefully one day someone will, so yeah. This little like clutter item, the pastel colored one, is one of my favorite things from the whole Get Famous pack. I know it's such a small item, but I love it. It's so retro and it's amazing. And here I do put in one more shelf. The dining room in the end is still a little bit bland, but I really didn't know what to do with it, so I just left it. But yeah, definitely if you want to, there's room for something. And one thing actually, I remember this house doesn't have a computer, so definitely you could fit one in if you remove something, or you could put it on the dining table. But I realized it like at this point, like many hours into the build, I was already almost done, so I decided not to put a computer in. I did give them this drawing tablet, and yeah, of course you could get the regular tablet, and like I said, you could fit a computer somewhere here, but I just hope we had laptops. That would solve the problem. I could just put it somewhere and then the Sims would carry it around. That would be ideal, because especially these are like young people. I don't think they would have a desktop computer if neither of them work like in social media or anything like that. So it just doesn't really make sense to have desktop computers anymore. So yeah, I really hope we do get laptops at some point. But yeah, we are pretty much done here. And yeah, like I said, I really like how the house turned out, and like it was kind of predictable because it's in my comfort zone. But yeah, I will link the collab, my collaborators, in the description below. I will link to JinxJupiter so you can find out more information about the save file collab. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to my channel if you haven't already. I post new Sims 4 videos almost every single day. And like I said, this house is kinda on the gallery, but I would definitely suggest you wait until I fix it, until my game is fixed. And yeah, I'm sorry about that, but I hope you like this speed build of it, and I will see you all very soon again. Bye bye!